Speak less, achieve more. Secret strategy of high performers. Many people believe that success comes from talking a lot. They think confidence means speaking often. They think power means being loud. They think progress means telling everyone what they plan to do. But the truth is different. The most successful people do not talk much about their lives. They do not explain every move. They do not share every thought. They do not announce every goal. They move quietly. They work silently, and they let their results speak for them. This is the secret. Speak less, achieve more. This lesson is not about hiding who you are. It is about protecting who you are becoming. It is about using your energy in the right place. It is about choosing action over noise. When you talk less, you focus more. When you focus more, you improve faster. When you improve faster, you grow stronger. High performers understand this. They do not waste energy on words. They invest energy in work. They invest energy in discipline. They invest energy in progress. This is why they move ahead while others stay in the same place. Most people talk too much about what they want. They talk about their dreams. They talk about their plans. They talk about their future. But they do not take enough action. Talking feels good. It feels like progress. It feels like movement. But often it is only noise. Real progress is quiet. Real growth is silent. Real success is built when no one is watching. Imagine a seed in the ground. It does not make sound. It does not show off. It grows in darkness. It becomes strong under the soil. Only later does it break the surface. Only later do people see the result. Your life works the same way. Your best growth happens in silence. Your strongest progress happens in private. Your greatest success is built when you stop explaining and start doing. This is why high performers speak less. They do not need attention. They do not need approval. They do not need applause before the work is done. They trust the process. They trust their discipline. They trust their actions. Silence gives them power. When you talk too much, people learn everything about you. They know your fears. They know your doubts. They know your weaknesses. They know your plans. When people know too much, they can influence you. They can distract you. They can confuse you. They can discourage you. But when you stay quiet, you stay in control. You decide what to share. You decide when to speak. You decide how much others can see. Silence protects your direction. Many people lose energy because they explain everything. They explain their choices. They explain their mistakes. They explain their goals. They explain their feelings. Every explanation takes energy. Every word uses focus. Every conversation costs mental power. Energy is limited. Focus is limited. Time is limited. High performers know this. They protect what is limited. They do not waste it on things that do not build their future. They speak only when it matters. They act every day. Silence is not weakness. Silence is discipline. Silence is control. Silence is strength. When you stop talking about what you will do, you start doing more. When you stop announcing your plans, you protect your focus. When you stop seeking attention, you gain clarity. This is why speaking less leads to achieving more. Let us look at why talking too much holds people back. First, talking creates false progress. When you talk about your goal, your brain feels good. It feels like you have already taken a step. It feels like something important has happened. But nothing has changed. The work is not done. The skill is not built. The habit is not formed. Only the words are there. Because of this, motivation becomes weaker. You feel satisfied too early. You lose the hunger to act. You stop pushing yourself. Many people talk about their goals for years. They say they want to be successful, they say they want to change their life, they say they want to improve, but they never move, they never start, they never commit. Talking becomes their action, and their dreams stay the same. High performers avoid this trap. They do not talk about what they will do. They focus on what they are doing now. They let action replace words. Second, talking invites doubt. When you share your plans with the wrong people, you hear opinions. Some people say it is too hard. Some people say it is not realistic. Some people say you should be careful. They may not mean harm, but their words plant seeds of doubt, and doubt grows quickly. One comment can change how you see your dream. One question can make you hesitate. One negative thought can slow your steps. High performers protect their plans. They do not give everyone access to their ideas. They do not let random voices shape their direction. They keep their vision close. They move quietly. They build first. Third, talking exposes your weaknesses. When you share everything, people learn where you are sensitive. They learn what hurts you. They learn what makes you unsure. Not everyone uses this information kindly. Some people judge. Some people compete. Some people feel better when you struggle. Silence protects your inner world. It keeps your heart safe. It keeps your confidence stable. High performers choose privacy, not because they are cold, but because they are wise. They understand one simple rule: not everyone needs to know your story. When you speak less, you observe more. You listen more. You notice patterns. You see details others miss. You learn faster. You grow deeper. While others are busy talking, you are busy building. This is why silence creates advantage. Think about a calm lake. When the surface is still, you can see clearly. You can see the bottom. You can see what lies beneath. But when the water is disturbed, everything becomes unclear. Movement creates noise. Noise hides truth. Your mind works the same way. When you talk too much, your mind is busy. You think about what to say next. You think about how others see you. You think about how you sound. But when you are quiet, your mind becomes clear. You think better. You plan better. You decide better. High performers value clarity. They protect their mental space. They remove unnecessary noise. Silence gives them this space. Another reason to speak less is emotional control. Many people share emotions the moment they feel them. They speak when they are angry. They speak when they are sad. They speak when they are frustrated. In the moment, it feels good, but later, regret often follows. Words spoken in emotion cannot be taken back. They can damage relationships. They can create problems. They can weaken your image. High performers do not react quickly. They pause. They breathe. They reflect. They process emotions privately. They choose their words carefully. This is not suppression. This is mastery. Emotional control gives them stability. Stability gives them confidence. Confidence allows them to move forward without fear. When you speak less, you stop feeding drama. When you stop feeding drama, you protect your peace. When you protect your peace, you protect your energy. Energy is everything. Energy builds habits. Energy fuels discipline. Energy supports consistency. High performers understand that energy is their greatest resource. They do not waste it on endless talking. They use it to improve skills. They use it to complete tasks. They use it to grow stronger every day. Most people are tired not because they work too hard. They are tired because they waste energy on things that do not matter. They explain too much. They complain too much. They seek approval too much. High performers choose a different path. They store their energy. They focus it. They direct it toward progress. They know that success is not built in conversation, it is built in repetition. It is built in discipline, it is built in quiet effort. This is the heart of the strategy. Speak less, work more. Many people want to look successful. High performers want to become successful. Looking successful requires words. Becoming successful requires action. One creates noise, the other creates results. High performers choose results. They do not chase attention. They do not perform for others. They do not live for approval. They live for growth. They live for progress. They live for mastery. When you stop trying to impress people, you become free. When you become free, you can focus. When you focus, you can achieve. This is why silence is powerful. Silence does not mean you have nothing to say. It means you have something important to do. Silence does not mean you are invisible. It means you are preparing. Silence does not mean you are weak. It means you are disciplined. This is the mindset of high performers. They understand that the world does not need to know every step of their journey. They understand that growth is personal. They understand that the process is sacred. They protect it. In a world full of noise, silence becomes rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. People begin to notice your calm. They begin to respect your focus. They begin to trust your judgment, not because of what you say, but because of how you move. Your actions become your message. This is how high performers build quiet confidence. They do not announce their power, they embody it. They walk with purpose. They work with intention. They grow without noise. This is why they achieve more. The journey of speaking less is not easy at first. Silence can feel uncomfortable. You may want to explain yourself. You may want to be understood. You may want to share everything. But with time, you realize something important. You do not need to be understood by everyone. You only need to understand yourself. When you understand yourself, your direction becomes clear. When your direction is clear, your actions become strong. When your actions are strong, your results become visible. And when your results are visible, words are no longer needed. This is the path of high performers. They move in silence. They build in private. They let success speak for them. This is the foundation of speak less, achieve more. Part 2. How silence builds confidence and protects your dreams. Confidence is often misunderstood. Many people think confidence comes from talking a lot. They think confident people always explain themselves. They think confident people always show their opinions. They think confident people always try to be seen. But real confidence is quiet. Real confidence does not need attention. Real confidence does not need approval. Real confidence does not need to prove anything. High performers understand this. They do not try to look strong. They become strong. When you speak less, something changes inside you. You stop looking outside for validation. You stop waiting for people to agree with you. You stop asking for permission to move forward. You begin to trust yourself. Trust in yourself is the root of confidence. When you trust yourself, you do not need to explain every choice. When you trust yourself, you do not need to defend every action. When you trust yourself, you move with calm certainty. This calm is powerful. People feel it. They may not know why, but they sense your stability. They sense your focus. They sense your self-control. And because of that, they respect you. Silence creates this effect, not because silence is magic, but because silence forces you to rely on yourself. When you talk less, you stop leaning on other people's opinions. You stop shaping your life to please others. You stop adjusting your path to fit expectations. You become the author of your own story. Many people talk because they want to be accepted. They want to feel seen. They want to feel important. They want someone to say, "You are doing great." This is human, but it is also dangerous. When you depend on approval, you give away your power. Your confidence rises and falls with other people's reactions. Your direction changes when others disagree. Your decisions become weak. High performers do not live this way. They do not build their identity on praise. They build it on discipline. They build it on values. They build it on action. They know who they are. They know what they want. They know where they are going. Because of this, they do not need to announce their moves. They simply make them. Silence helps you hear your own voice. In a noisy world, your inner voice is often lost. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone gives advice. Everyone tells you what you should do. When you listen to all of them, you become confused. You lose clarity. You lose confidence. But when you create silence, something beautiful happens. Your thoughts become clearer. Your priorities become sharper. Your decisions become stronger. You begin to understand what truly matters to you. This understanding builds real confidence, not loud confidence, not fake confidence, but quiet, stable confidence. High performers protect this inner space. They choose privacy. Privacy is not about hiding. Privacy is about protection. Privacy is about creating a safe place for growth. Your dreams are fragile in the beginning. Your ideas are small at first. Your plans are not ready to face the world. Just like a seed needs soil, your goals need privacy. If you expose a seed too early, it dies. If you expose a dream too early, it weakens. People may laugh. People may doubt. People may judge. People may discourage. Even if they do not mean harm, their words affect you. Doubt enters your mind. Fear enters your heart. Hesitation slows your steps. High performers understand this risk. They do not share their dreams with everyone. They choose carefully who they trust. They keep their plans close until they are strong. They build in silence. They prepare in private. They grow without noise. This does not make them secretive. It makes them wise. When you keep your dreams private, you protect your motivation. You protect your focus. You protect your energy. Energy is the fuel of progress. Without energy, there is no action. Without action, there is no growth. Every time you explain your dream, you spend energy. Every time you defend your goal, you lose focus. Every time you respond to doubt, you weaken your drive. High performers avoid these traps. They save their energy for what matters. They use it to practice. They use it to learn. They use it to improve. They do not waste it on unnecessary conversations. Another reason silence builds confidence is emotional discipline. Emotions are powerful. They guide us. They warn us. They motivate us. But emotions can also control us if we are not careful. Many people share emotions instantly. When they are angry, they speak. When they are hurt, they speak. When they are frustrated, they speak. In the moment, it feels relieving, but later it often brings regret. Words spoken in emotion can damage trust. They can create conflict. They can make you look unstable. High performers practice emotional control. They do not react quickly. They pause. They breathe. They reflect. They choose when to speak. They choose how to speak. They choose what to share. This discipline strengthens their confidence. They know they are in control of themselves. They know their emotions do not control their actions. Self-control is power. When you master your emotions, you master your life. When you master your life, confidence grows naturally.
Silence supports this mastery. It creates space between feeling and action. It allows you to think before you respond. It protects you from saying what you may regret. High performers understand that not every emotion needs an audience. Not every pain needs a public stage. Not every struggle needs to be shared. Some battles are better fought in private. This does not mean you must suffer alone. It means you choose wisely who you open up to. It means you protect your heart from people who do not respect it. Not everyone who listens cares. Not everyone who smiles supports you. Not everyone who asks about your life wants you to succeed. Some people are curious, not kind. Some people are jealous, not supportive. Some people collect information, not because they want to help, but because they want to judge. High performers learn this lesson early. They understand that trust must be earned. They understand that boundaries are necessary. They understand that privacy is a form of self-respect. By sharing less, they protect their emotional world. By protecting their emotional world, they stay strong. This strength is visible. People see that they are calm. People see that they are centered. People see that they are not easily shaken. This calm creates authority. Not loud authority, but quiet influence. When you speak less, people listen more when you do speak. When you speak less, your words carry weight. When you speak less, your presence becomes meaningful. High performers do not fill silence with noise. They allow silence to speak for them. Silence creates mystery, and mystery attracts attention. When people know everything about you, there is nothing left to discover. They lose interest. They stop paying attention. But when you reveal less, people become curious. They wonder what you were thinking. They wonder what you were working on. They wonder how you stay so focused. This curiosity creates respect. High performers do not try to be mysterious. They simply protect their inner world. The mystery is a result of their discipline. They do not broadcast their struggles. They do not announce their next move. They do not explain their strategy. They let results reveal the story. Results are honest. Results cannot be argued with. Results do not need explanation. This is why high performers let their work speak. They know that actions build reputation. They know that consistency builds credibility. They know that silence followed by results is powerful. Many people seek recognition before they earn it. High performers earn it before they receive it. They do not chase applause. They focus on mastery. Mastery takes time. Mastery takes repetition. Mastery takes patience. All of these require focus, and focus is easier in silence. When you speak less, you protect your attention. You stop being distracted by opinions. You stop being pulled by reactions. You stop being influenced by noise. Your mind becomes a clean space, a space for planning, a space for learning, a space for growth. High performers treat their mind like a garden. They remove weeds. They limit what enters. They protect what they are growing. Silence is one of their strongest tools. Another important effect of speaking less is self-respect. When you stop seeking validation, you stop lowering your standards. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop justifying your worth. When you stop asking for permission, you start honoring your own path. This builds deep self-respect. Self-respect changes how you move in the world. You no longer accept what does not align with you. You no longer chase what does not serve you. You no longer settle for what does not grow you. High performers live by this principle. They protect their time. They protect their energy. They protect their direction. They do not give everyone access to their life. They choose their circle carefully. They invest in people who support their growth. Silence helps them maintain these boundaries. When you do not share everything, you create distance from what drains you. When you create distance, you protect your peace. When you protect your peace, you protect your power. Peace is not weakness. Peace is stability. Stability allows long-term growth. High performers think long-term. They are not interested in quick attention. They are not interested in short-term praise. They are interested in lasting results. This is why they move quietly.
They understand that real transformation happens slowly. It happens in daily habits. It happens in small choices. It happens when no one is watching. Silence allows them to commit to this process without pressure. No expectations, no judgment, no performance, only growth. When you live this way, your confidence becomes unshakable. Not because you are perfect, but because you are grounded. You know who you are. You know what you are building. You know why you are moving forward. This knowledge does not need to be announced. It is felt in your actions. High performers do not seek to be understood by everyone. They seek to be true to themselves. And in that truth, they find power. Silence is not empty. It is full of intention. It is full of discipline. It is full of purpose. By speaking less, you create space. Space for clarity. Space for focus. Space for growth. This space is where confidence is built. This space is where dreams are protected. This space is where high performers are made. Part 3. How silence protects focus, builds momentum, and leads to real results. Focus is rare today. The world is loud. Messages never stop. Opinions are everywhere. Distractions are endless. Most people live in constant noise. They check their phone. They answer every message. They react to every comment. They explain every thought. Because of this, they lose focus. Focus is the ability to give your full attention to one thing. It is the power to stay with a task until it is done. It is the discipline to ignore what does not matter. High performers guard this ability. They know focus is fragile. They know noise can destroy it. This is why they choose silence. When you speak less, you create fewer interruptions. When you share less, you invite fewer opinions. When you explain less, you face less resistance. Your mind becomes quieter. Your attention becomes sharper. Your work becomes deeper. Deep work is where real progress happens. Deep work means long periods of full concentration. No scrolling, no chatting, no reacting. Just you and the task. High performers live in this state. They design their lives around focus. They protect time for learning. They protect time for practice. They protect time for creation. Silence supports all of this. When you stop talking about what you will do, you start doing it. When you stop explaining your plans, you start executing them. When you stop seeking feedback, you start trusting your process. Action replaces noise. Many people confuse movement with progress. They talk, they plan, they discuss, they debate, but nothing changes. High performers choose a different path. They reduce talk. They increase action. They understand one simple truth. Results come from doing, not from saying. Silence removes the illusion of progress. It forces you to face your work. It forces you to measure yourself by outcomes. It forces you to improve through practice. This creates momentum. Momentum is the feeling of moving forward. It is the energy that builds when you take consistent action. It is the force that makes hard things easier over time. At first, action feels heavy. At first, progress is slow. At first, results are invisible. This is where most people quit. They talk instead of acting. They complain instead of improving. They seek motivation instead of discipline. High performers do the opposite. They continue quietly. They show up daily. They work without applause. Silence helps them stay in the process. No pressure, no performance, no comparison. Only effort. Every small action adds to momentum. Every focused session builds strength. Every quiet day of work compounds into visible results. This is how the impossible becomes possible. Silence also protects your energy. Energy is limited. You cannot give it to everything. Every conversation takes energy. Every argument drains energy. Every explanation costs energy. High performers spend energy only on what matters. They do not waste it on proving themselves. They do not waste it on defending choices. They do not waste it on unnecessary debate. They conserve their power for growth. When you protect your energy, you can work longer. When you work longer, you improve faster. When you improve faster, results come sooner. This is not luck. This is strategy. Another reason silence leads to success is emotional distance. Emotions are strong. They can push you forward. They can also pull you back. When you are too involved in reactions, you lose clarity. When you care too much about opinions, you hesitate. When you seek approval, you doubt your direction. Silence creates distance from all of this. You stop reacting. You start responding. You choose your actions instead of being controlled by feelings. High performers are not emotionless. They feel deeply, but they do not let emotions lead their decisions. They observe, they reflect, they decide with purpose. Silence makes this possible. In silence, you hear your own thoughts. In silence, you understand your real motivations. In silence, you see what truly matters. This clarity is rare, and it is powerful. When you are clear, you move faster. When you are clear, you waste less time. When you are clear, you do not chase distractions. Your path becomes simple. Simple does not mean easy. Simple means focused. High performers choose simple paths, few goals, clear priorities, strong habits. They do not try to do everything. They do what matters most. Silence supports this simplicity. When you do not speak about every idea, you do not feel forced to follow all of them. When you do not announce every plan, you can change direction without pressure. When you do not promise publicly, you stay flexible. This flexibility is strength. It allows you to adapt. It allows you to learn. It allows you to improve without ego. Ego is another enemy of growth. Ego wants to look good. Ego wants to be right. Ego wants recognition. Silence weakens ego. When you stop talking about yourself, ego loses attention. When you stop defending your image, ego loses control. When you focus on work, ego fades. In this state, learning becomes easier. You accept mistakes. You seek feedback quietly. You correct your path without shame. High performers are humble in private. They are students of their craft. They are always improving. This humility is built in silence. Silence also changes how others see you. When you speak less, people pay more attention when you do speak. Your words become rare. Your words become deliberate. Your words become meaningful. You are no longer part of the noise. You become a signal. High performers understand this. They do not speak to fill space. They speak to create impact. When they finally share, it matters. When they finally present, it is strong. When they finally act in public, it is undeniable. This is the power of delayed exposure. Most people want to be seen early. High performers wait to be seen when they are ready. They let preparation happen in private. They let growth happen in silence. They let mastery develop without attention. Then they appear, and the world is surprised. This is why their success seems sudden, but it is never sudden. It is built quietly over time. Silence also protects you from comparison. Comparison is toxic. It steals joy. It weakens confidence. It distorts reality. When you watch others too closely, you forget your own path. When you measure yourself by others, you lose your direction. High performers reduce exposure to comparison. They focus on their own progress. They track their own growth. They compete only with their past self. Silence supports this mindset. Less sharing means less measuring. Less measuring means more peace. More peace means more consistency. Consistency is the true secret of success. Anyone can work hard for one day. Anyone can feel motivated for 1 week, but only a few can show up quietly for years. High performers are those few. They understand that greatness is built in repetition, in daily habits, in small choices, in invisible effort. Silence allows this to happen without pressure. No audience, no expectations, no performance, just progress. When you live this way, results become natural, not forced, not rushed, not fragile. They are stable, they last. This is why speaking less leads to achieving more. Not because words are bad, but because focus is better. Not because sharing is wrong, but because action is stronger. Silence is not weakness. It is discipline. It is intention. It is control. High performers choose silence because they choose growth. They let their work define them. They let their results speak. They let their consistency tell the story. You can do the same. You do not need to announce your plans. You do not need to explain your journey. You do not need to prove your worth. You only need to begin, and continue, and stay focused. Speak less, work more. Protect your energy, guard your attention, trust your process. Let silence be your ally. Let action be your language. Let results be your voice. This is the secret strategy of high performers. Quiet effort, deep focus, unstoppable progress. And one day, without noise, without drama, without announcement, you will arrive. Not louder, but stronger.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Self-Study Every Day for more helpful lessons. Leave a comment and tell me what you want to learn next.